The polished glass walls of Verexon Global gleamed in the early morning sun, casting long streaks of gold across the marble floors. It was 6:17 a.m., and the building was silent, except for the soft, rhythmic swish of a mop and the faint hum of classical music from a dusty phone speaker. In the stillness of that hour, the woman pushing the mop paused, listening intently to a voice message. A warm smile lit up her tired face. Then, with surprising elegance, she began responding, first in French, then switching fluently to German, then to Mandarin, each syllable clear and confident. From the hallway around the corner, James Wexler, CEO of Verexon, froze mid-step. He had come in early, hoping for silence to prep for a high-stakes merger meeting. Instead, he was rooted in place by a voice he didn't recognize, a voice flowing like water between languages. He peered around the corner and saw her, Maria, one of the night shift cleaning staff, wearing worn sneakers and a navy blue uniform. She stood alone with a mop in one hand and a phone in the other, conversing with ease in languages he himself could barely pronounce. He didn't mean to eavesdrop, but he couldn't stop listening. After a few more minutes, Maria ended the call, turned off her music, and resumed her work. James remained hidden, stunned. He had seen her dozens of times, walking past with her cart, nodding quietly in elevators, invisible in the way so many people in her position often were. But now, she was anything but invisible. James returned to his office distracted. The documents in front of him blurred. He couldn't stop thinking, who was this woman? Why was someone this brilliant cleaning floors? Later that day, he did something unusual for a CEO. He went down to the maintenance level and asked for Maria. She looked surprised when he appeared by the staff lockers. "Maria, right?" he asked gently. "Do you have a moment?" Her eyes widened. "Yes, sir. Please, call me James. I overheard you this morning, speaking multiple languages." Maria flushed. "Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb anyone." "No, not at all. Actually, I was impressed." 9 languages? She hesitated, then nodded. "Yes. I studied linguistics in university back in Colombia. I taught for a while, but things changed. Life changed." James invited her to sit in his office that evening, after hours. There, she told her story, not with self-pity, but with quiet strength. She had once been a professor. When political unrest broke out in her region, her family fled. In the U.S., her degrees weren't recognized. She sent out resumes, dozens of them, but received no callbacks. With 2 children to feed and aging parents, she couldn't afford to wait. She took whatever job came her way. For the last 6 years, that had been cleaning offices, at night, when no one noticed her, when no one asked her name. James listened, moved in a way he hadn't felt in years. The next morning, he called an emergency meeting with his executive team. "I want to launch a new program," he said, "to identify hidden talent within our company. No matter their role." There were raised eyebrows. Confused glances. "Someone working nights in this very building speaks 9 languages and holds an advanced degree. And we had no idea. That's unacceptable." Over the next week, a whirlwind unfolded. Maria was brought in to consult on international contracts. She was made part of the translation and localization task force. Within 2 months, she was offered a full-time position as a cultural liaison, working alongside Verexon's global teams. But that wasn't all. James knew Maria's story wasn't unique. So he launched the Second Sight Initiative, a program that created pathways for under-recognized employees to grow into roles matching their skills and passions. Janitors, cafeteria workers, receptionists, many were quietly extraordinary. All they needed was someone to look. Word spread fast. The story of the cleaning lady who spoke 9 languages became a feature on national news. Maria was invited to speak at conferences. Her children, once embarrassed by the uniforms she wore, now beamed with pride as she walked into work each day in a tailored blazer, not carrying a mop, but leading a team. Months later, at a company-wide town hall, James stood on stage and gestured to Maria in the front row. "She reminded me of something I'd forgotten," he said. "That brilliance doesn't always come with a title. That sometimes, the brightest stars are just waiting for someone to lift the curtain." The crowd erupted in applause, but Maria, ever humble, smiled modestly. After the event, an intern approached her, eyes shining. "I saw you on TV," she said. "Your story gave me courage. My mom's a janitor too. I always felt ashamed. But now, I think she's the strongest woman I know." Maria knelt to hug her. "She probably is," she whispered. Years passed. Maria became director of Verexon's Global Cultural Strategy Division. She traveled the world, not with a mop and bucket, but with purpose and pride. She returned to Colombia, not to escape, but to build bridges for others. Her story became a book, then a movement. And James? He said it was the greatest investment of his career, the day he paused, listened, and chose to see someone others overlooked. Because sometimes, the most extraordinary transformations don't come from bold strategies or billion-dollar deals. Sometimes, they begin with a mop, and a moment of human kindness. Final note. In a world racing toward efficiency, we often forget the quiet power of empathy. This story reminds us that within every person lies untold depth, and that a simple act of recognition can change a life, not just theirs, but our own. Because the true measure of success isn't just what we build. It's who we lift along the way.